All right, so if you could start off with your name and your title.
Hi, I'm Richard Scheuermann. I am the campus director at the J. Craig Venter Institute in La Jolla, and I'm also the director of informatics here.
What science are you working on, if you can talk about it?
Mhm. Well, I've got several different projects that we have ongoing right now. The one that's occupying most of my time right now is we work in infectious diseases, specific on viral infectious diseases. And so we have an active research project around the coronavirus, building a large database for the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Disease, where we aggregate all data about coronavirus and try to integrate it together and make it available for researchers who need to get access to information about the coronavirus. So that's one big topic. Another topic is I'm an immunologist, and so we're very interested in looking at how the human immune system reacts to the virus, and also how we can induce protective immunity by vaccination. And so we have projects where we're looking at how people respond to infection or vaccination against coronavirus and other viral pathogens as well. And then my third big project is we're looking at the human brain and trying to figure out all the different types of neurons that are present in different regions of the brain using a really advanced technology called single cell RNA sequencing, where we take individual cells and we figure out which genes are expressed in those cells, and then that tells us what type of cell it is. It's pretty amazing technology.
All right, so is the science that you're talking about in those three areas, is that the science that you're most passionate about, or is there a science that you're really passionate about that you're not, maybe not currently working
I think the brain project is, I'm pretty passionate about it because it is really bleeding edge research, and the results that we're obtaining are just amazing. And the other thing about it is that it's a big data problem. So we generate terabytes of data in one experiment. And so as someone who does bioinformatics and computational biology research, it's really it's exciting to have so much data to be able to play around with. And we're starting to apply artificial intelligence, machine learning approaches to try to interpret the data. That part is pretty exciting.
Who has been an inspiration to you? It doesn't have to be a scientist, or it could be.
When I was an undergraduate and taking my biology courses, in college, I had a number of professors that were really inspirational to me. And, at the time I didn't appreciate how amazing scientists they were. They were just my professors. But for example, the virology course that I took was taught by David Baltimore, who is a Nobel Prize winner. He became the president of Caltech ultimately. He was an amazing person, but to me, he was just a professor. But he taught me some really fundamental ways of approaching science and being a researcher that I still use today. Like, for example, one of the things that he told us as students is when you're reading a scientific paper, don't worry too much about the introduction and the discussion sections. What you should do is look at the data, and you should use your own best judgment to interpret the data yourself, because the data is true. The interpretation, that can be a little bit fuzzy, but, be married to the data and not the interpretations. And so, that was really a valuable piece of advice that I've used throughout my scientific career. So, I had several professors like that when I was an undergrad that really inspired me to become a scientist.
That goes right into our next question of what kind of high school student were you?
I was a pretty good high school student. I was second in my class. I was this close to being first in my class, but I was involved. I was the president of the student senate. I played sports, three sports every year. I was in band. I did all these other things. I wasn't just kind of an academic oriented student. I mean, I tried to get involved in everything. But yeah, I mean, I think um, the schoolwork came naturally to me, especially in the sciences and math and stuff like that. And so I wouldn't say that I studied really hard. It was just, it kind of came natural.
So if you were to be able to go back in time, Marty McFly yourself, and give your high school self some advice, what would you say?
I would probably say, don't worry about the bullies. In the long run, it didn't make any difference. I was fortunate I wasn't bullied that much, but there were a couple of times where, you were on the short end of the stick. And but here I am, a successful scientist, and so I'm not sure how successful some of the bullies were.
That is my favorite answer to that question. So this is my favorite question to ask. 2 random facts about you that are not easily Googled until after we post this.
Well, one thing is, so I'm a second-degree black belt in mixed martial arts. So you might not appreciate that, just looking at me, but probably shouldn't mess with me. And then the other thing is, I'm a cat person. I like dogs, but prefer cats. And so we have 2 gorgeous Maine Coon cats that are our kind of best friends at home. And so, yeah, well, definitely a cat person.
That's incredible. Well, thank you for taking the time. Teachers, let us know if you want to try to see if Richard has some time to come into your classroom. And thank you for your time, Richard. I'm going to end this video now. If there's anything else that you'd like to say.
No, thanks, Jeane. Look forward to working with the high school teachers and students.
Very cool.